From somewhere below the surface of the Midwest, in the studio wing of the adult fans of Nerf's secret bunker, this is the AFoN Show. With your hosts, Mr. K and Mr. S.
Hello Nerf Nation, welcome to the AFoN Show. It's a special stand-up edition of the AFoN Show. I'm Mr. S.
And I'm Mr. K.
And today we're going to be talking about an interesting little addition to the Nerf world, tactical rail attachments.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There's been a lot of tactical rails out there, attachments for tactical rail out there. We got some sights, we got some scopes, shields have been a recent addition, and there have also been a couple of miscellaneous things around there that we're going to be talking about too. We'll give a couple of examples as far as like what works, what kind of doesn't, how the tactical rail is kind of advanced over the course of the N-Strike series, and just kind of, you know, our personal thoughts and feelings on the stuff.
First off, talk about the beginning of the tactical rail. The first tactical rail that we saw was on the Scout, and the first, well, it's not really an accessory, but the first thing that it attached to was actually the Titan.
The Titan missile launcher, the Unity power system, very cool.
The first set to utilize the tactical rails. They didn't use them for accessories, they used them to attach the blasters to each other. And while tactical rails haven't changed much over the time since the Scout, they have changed a little bit, such as on the Stampede, the front of the tactical rails, right here, have been rounded a little bit more so that you can easily slide on and slide off the tactical rail accessories.
It keeps the accessories from catching as much as they used to on just the square corners of the older rails.
Yep, and of course we have little cutouts on a lot of the blasters now too, where it allows the tactical rail accessory to easily slide on when there's something in front of it blocking you from sliding it on all the way.
Which is a really nifty little piece of just a little nuanced thing there.
Yep, and
attention to detail.
It helps. It does. It really when you look at the Recon, you can see that the tactical rails weren't very well designed on this blaster, and also the Maverick.
It was the same on the Maverick. This is Chauncey to me. You got the tactical rail right where you're supposed to try and grab to prime the blaster, and put a rail attachment on there. I'll just grab our first example here, the sight from the long shot. And really, you gotta kind of get your hand in underneath there now to try and get it ready. It's just a little cumbersome.
Yep, and there's really not much of a way to do it on the Recon without taking off the tactical rail accessory, which is why I suppose, and even if you are trying to get it on there, you have to have the cocking mechanism back for you to actually put the sight on. And even then, it's hard to get around the sight and bigger tactical rail accessories to actually cock the blaster.
They almost make you want to grab the tactical rail, the attachment itself, to pull the slide back, and that's just counterproductive. It's not very easy to do.
Yeah, I mean, when you have the accessory off, you're going to want to grab for these little parts here. But once you have it on, it's just you can't grab down that far.
There's just no easy way of doing it.
And of course, you have the front rail on the barrel extension, which, you know, you have to basically slide on once you have this back as well. You know, and if you're trying to take an accessory off the cocking mechanism, it's going to slide onto the barrel extension if you have it on.
Yeah.
So, and the barrel extension on the bottom, you know, it actually, well, even though it's not supposed to work with this, it actually does slide on nice and easy on like the top one.
I like the light that came with the Recon. It slides right nice underneath. Gimme. Slides nice on here. The beveling and everything on here make it fit right up against the housing of the blaster itself. Looks really cool. Now again, what I'm going to say, my personal thoughts on tactical rail attachments, they're good for aesthetics. They add an extra element of customizability, make the blaster look pretty cool. All in all, you're not going to get a whole lot of functionality out of these. They don't work very well as real sights, but you know, we're dealing with toys here. They're toys, come on. But they look pretty cool, and customizability is always a good thing.
Yep. It's nice to have different colors, different sizes, shapes of accessories just to put on your blaster to make it look cooler.
Make it your own.
Yep. And I mean, of course, we do have accessories that are useful, which we'll get to later. But for the most part, they haven't been much use.
No, yeah, not much use. But you know, like we keep saying, they look cool. Probably my favorite one we'll get to in a little bit. I can't wait to talk about it because it's really one of my favorites. I love it. But yeah, so we got the sight that came with the long shot, which was kind of just a little Chauncey thing. Not a whole lot of innards or anything to it. It's just a hollow tube. But again, you know, it makes it look like you got a sight on there, and it looks cool like a sniper rifle. Blah. But it is what it is.
Yep. And we have the tactical accessory that was available in a tactical kit. You have this little scope. Adds a little bit of functionality. It's smaller, so it works better on some blasters than the long shot scope. And it's got a little kind of yellow filter cover that you can put over here to change it up.
Again, it just looks cool. I wouldn't say that this has more functionality than this thing, but
it
got the yellow
makes it look a
filter on
little different.
It looks different, but
And you know, it's got that yellow lens on it. You know, that and yellow seems to make things a lot brighter.
It does. So when you're looking through it, you know, it's like what they call them, blue blockers. Blue blockers back in the day, they had those yellow lenses.
Yep, and this is one of the few tactical rail accessories that has a tactical rail on it.
Still trying to figure out the whole point of that. I mean, it's cool and everything, but I mean, it's kind of gratuitous.
So you can put a scope on your scope.
I mean, yeah, you can have a scope on your scope. It doesn't increase your field of zoom at all, but you know, you can look through two sights at once.
They're once you put them together like this, they're scope binoculars.
Scope binoculars, I like that. Patented. It's done.
So after that one, we have the Super Soaker site that was available. I believe it was only available at Target. I think in the time that it's been available, I think it's only been available on
your guess is as
Scatter
good as
Blast.
mine. The Scatter Blast had it, yes.
Yeah,
that might have been a Target exclusive package.
But it's not only available in red; it's available in blue, and it's also available now in white as well.
They did redo it in white.
Yes,
for the new paint job.
did.
Cool. I didn't notice that.
With the new paint jobs in the Super Soaker, making them white, orange, and black, they redid it and re-released it at Target stores.
It's a cool looking little sight.
It is,
Same
and
kind of deal as the rest of them, but you know, it looks.
And
cool.
it's just another option for a smaller scope, and it like this one works well with the Crimson series.
I'd get the white one and throw it on a whiteout.
Absolutely.
Something or other. Yeah.
Put it on the long strike.
Deploy.
Yeah.
Deploy all the way.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it would kind of cover up the button.
That is a problem we've noticed with the deploy. I'm going to grab a deploy and show you what I'm talking about. The one lone tactical rail on the deploy is right on top here. If you put a rail attachment on there, it's kind of hard to get at the button.
And with some, you can't even
flip it up.
So
you need to put one of the smally ones on there. Let's see if this one will work with the button. Hey, you can get at the button.
And
it can close. Hey, see?
Just need a yellow one or a white deploy.
Whiteout deploy. That's right. I love me the deploy.
So yeah, and now more recently with the release of the Vortex blasters, we have the new electronic scope. This guy has 3 modes. It has the button on the side here turns it on. It has kind of a fast mode, slow mode, and an all-on mode, and then hit it again to turn it off.
It's cool. Battery operated
nice.
stuff is pretty cool.
It's really sci-fi, and it just kind of adds to how you feel when you play with the blaster. It doesn't really, make any difference when you're actually like using it. But again, this is a tactical accessory.
Tactical, I like that term. I like that. Yeah, this was really well designed. It really fits everything on everything that they were trying to go through with the Vortex line. That whole sci-fi alien feel to it. Really cool, really cool.
Yeah, I hope to see more accessories for the Vortex line in the future.
Me too, me too. The Vortex is really cool. I hope they expand upon it and bring more elements, especially tactical rails and barrel extensions and all that fun stuff into the mix.
Let's move on to the sights.
Sights. So this was the first sight that I recall. It came with the Recon. It's simple, straightforward.
Just a little iron sight.
flip up iron sight. I tried so hard to try and calibrate my Recon for this thing, and it's a toy. It doesn't really work that well.
Yeah, it's not going to really calibrate.
No. This one's my favorite.
Yes.
I like this one.
Yes.
From the Long Strike.
It doesn't have the adjustments like the Recon does, but it looks a lot nicer.
And it's got like 3 different modes on it.
Yeah, you can flip it up, flip them down, move them around, and just try and figure out which way you like it best.
Yeah, it's almost a make your own sight. It's really cool. Very flexible. I like it.
And then we have the pinpoint sight, which is another. It's like the smaller scope. It was available in.
It was a technical
an accessory
kit, wasn't it?
Yeah. And this is one of my favorite sights available. Unfortunately, they're going for quite a bit on eBay now. You could probably pick one up if you're really lucky for $80.
They had kind of a short production run, and I know in the case of yours, it kind of fizzled out after a little while.
Yeah, I kind of had to open it up and try and fix it, and it still doesn't work quite right. I might have to replace the batteries. But
Islands
even
and electronics are not good bedfellows.
Yeah, and I mean, even though it doesn't actually work that well, I really like the look of it. It just looks cool on a blaster like the Alpha Trooper here. It makes it a little more tactical.
Modern Warfare-esque.
Yeah, exactly. It adds a little bit of militaristic fun to it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, unfortunately, you can't really get them anymore. I hope that in the future they re-release some of these tactical accessory kits, because paying $80-$90 for this thing online is just way too steep.
Not really worth it.
And it just wasn't on them. It just didn't seem like it was on the market for very long.
No, it didn't. We saw it a couple times at like Walmart or wherever, and then they were gone.
Yeah. And then we have this little guy. Now this guy isn't really a sight.
Kind of a sight.
It's kind of a sight. It works as one, but this is actually the remote for the
disc shot.
The disc shot. The little targeting accessory, your device that basically shot up discs in the air so that you could shoot them. And this was
almost
what
like
launched
skeet
them.
shooting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So then you just put it onto a blaster and you can aim for. You can use it to aim or whatever, and
it was
has
pretty
a button on
fun.
the side here.
It was incredibly hard to try and hit the target.
Yeah, it was really difficult to get it right on, especially
Fun
considering
nonetheless.
the accuracy of most blasters.
Yeah.
But so yeah, those are the sights that we have.
And there were 2 lights that they came out, just the straight up lights. The Recon has probably had the most tactical rail accessories to come stock with it. You had this, and you had the other sight.
Stampede.
Well, Stampede had 2 as well. Okay, so it's tied.
Yeah.
Jiminy Christmas. All right, but this thing is pretty cool. It's got an adjustable light on it, so you can.
Yeah, and that's really nice for aiming and for using it as just a regular light.
Regular flashlight or
and
whatever.
I like the fact that these are red, because red is the easiest color to switch to night vision to.
Yeah.
So you can be playing with it in the dark and still be able to see once you turn
And
it
if
off.
you have your night vision goggles, that would help too.
Yeah.
But no, this thing was cool. I mean, I think it looks the best on the Recon, because like I was saying before, it just kind of fits snug on there. It looks really cool on the barrel extension. I don't like the way it looks on the top.
No,
rails.
it just doesn't seem to fit as well. It's all about this back.
It's all about the back.
If the back had been switched up a little bit, it probably would look a lot better on the top. But it just seems like a bottom mount accessory.
It does, and I'm okay with that. They just need to have more like cool bottom tactical rails to put it on.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only one that I can think of that it actually fits on fairly well is the Long Strike. And that's about it.
I haven't put it on the long string.
But I mean, on the Stampede, it works, but it kind of doesn't. It's just, it doesn't look as good.
It doesn't look as good. So this is the red one, and they came out with the green one. We have it in the package.
Yeah, this is from my collection of in-box accessories, and this is actually the only one I've found so far. So that's why I have it still in the box. But this one was actually a green one, and this one looks a little bit better on the top as opposed to the one that came with the Recon.
Because it's got a boxy look to it.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's almost, to me, it's almost a little too boxy.
A little too boxy. I don't really care for the look of this one.
No, but I mean, but I like it. You know, it's definitely, it's a different one for you to use, and it has like a little sight on the top here. You know, it uses these. So that you can
it has a couple
make sight.
grooves on top where the batteries go. You can't really see it in the packaging here, but it's got 2 grooves on top where the batteries go, and you can kind of iron sight that out if you want with the little groove up on top, and make it function as a sight as well as a light.
And on the back they have it on a
Our
bunch
2
of different
favorite
blasters.
ones.
And of course, it doesn't really work as well on the Maverick as
the Recon.
on the box.
Or the Recon,
But,
because it's hard to grab.
Yeah.
We've gone through that, beating a dead horse.
So, yeah, that's pretty much all they've come out with for the light accessories. I mean, there's the light that's in the deploy, but that doesn't really count.
It's not an attachment. That's,
No, but it's it's another light. So the deploy doesn't really need one of those lights on it.
No, it doesn't. It would be
Superfluous.
superfluous.
Yeah.
So there've been 2 shields to come out for the tactical rail. First one was a big release. Came out with the Stampede. First big shield we saw. That's actually a pretty nice little blast shield. I like it.
Yep, it's a nice tactical rail accessory. I love these little tabs on here that allow you to clip and unclip the actual little clamp on
Makes
there.
it easy to take it on, or to put it on and take it off.
Yeah, you don't. Unlike most tactical rail accessories, you don't have to slide it on. You can just put it on and just let the clips go.
Pop it on, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done much like testing on this to see how it looks on other blasters. I know it looks pretty cool on the Stampede. Honestly, I think it's a little gratuitous to put on anything smaller.
Yeah, it really doesn't work on anything. It works on smaller things. It just doesn't seem to fit as well as it does with the Stampede. And with the Vulcan, it would look good if it fit.
If it fit.
And
That's the problem with this little contour here being kind of tooled to the shape of the Stampede. It makes it a little
it makes
less-
it look good on the Stampede, but it really doesn't work on any other blaster. It would have been nice if they would have made it work with at least with the Vulcan.
Because the Vulcan's the other big bad boy.
Yeah, and it
Block.
would have worked really well with the Vulcan, I think.
The other one that came out, I kind of like, but it's another one of those single-purpose things. Came out with the Stampede, the Hydroblast. Is that the name of the big one?
I believe so.
Sounds right.
I don't know. Well,
The
I wasn't that
bazooka.
great.
The bazooka. Which was a pretty cool blaster. The new Super Soaker line is really cool. The problem that I have with this is that it's designed for that blaster, which has tactical rails that are kind of at angles on the side, and in order for it to be straight on there, it's got to hit that angle. Otherwise, as we'll see here,
Yeah, it just doesn't work as well on these blasters, and you can, unlike most tactical rail accessories, it does have tabs on both ends, so you can flip it around.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was intended for the Hydroblast. But with most blasters, it just doesn't work as well. Because you got all this area under here that's not guarded that would be guarded with the regular shield, and it's just kind of awkward. It'd be nice if this thing it rotated.
if
or
it
something.
rotated, it would be cool. Or pivoted a little bit, something.
Yeah, I mean, if it was like this, it would be sweet. Especially if you could get 2 of them, put them on either side, and I don't know.
That kind of looks cool. I mean, it looks,
There we go.
Aren't you?
That works pretty well.
Know.
It would work if you had 2. It would work. One for each side. It would work fairly well. You'd have all this area in here, but you could put, say, a scope on there.
Put a scope on it.
You can put a scope on there, and that finish it off pretty well. Because you got all this guard area here. I mean, you're not using it to aim at all because it's worthless.
It's
for
a
that.
shield.
It's a shield.
It's not supposed to be. You're not supposed to aim with a shield.
So, but yeah, it's another tactical rail accessory. And it's nice to see the tactical rail accessories being used on more than just the Nerf, N-Strike, and Vortex lines.
Yeah, it is good to see that they try to branch off a little bit. You got two unique rail accessories that came with the Super Soaker line. I wish they would kind of keep that up. I really like the new Super Soaker line. Keep up the good work. It's a really good line. But N-Strike does seem to be getting the lion's share of the stuff, but that's their flagship line. It's understandable.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, they can't really do anything other than N-Strike and Vortex really with tactical rails, other than Super Soaker.
I suppose, yeah, because they got
Dart Tag.
They got rid of the tactical rails
Yeah.
for the Dart Tag line anyway, so that doesn't really.
But you know, and there wasn't really a point having tactical rails in the Dart Tag accessories because none of them came with tactical rails.
The older ones did. Before went with the redesign, they had.
No, I mean none of them
rails
came
on.
with accessories.
They didn't come with accessories, but I think anywhere that tactical rails would have been kind of more pushed in my mind would have been in the NDTL, the Dart Tag League. They wouldn't have gotten rid of the tactical rails on the new blasters, allowed people to customize their own blasters using stock accessories. I think that would have been really cool. You would have had a little bit more customizability in there. Made some of the players seem a little bit more badass because they had custom blasters.
Yeah, and one of the most useful accessories that would have been nice to have with Dart Tag is the dart holder that came with
The barrel brake.
The barrel brake.
Yeah.
And it's really strange that it took so long for them to make dart holder tactical rail accessory because it seems like a no-brainer.
It seems like a no-brainer, and really, this thing is pretty cool. It fits every type of dart you've got out there.
You got a French toast stick in my Nerf.
You got your Nerf in my French toast stick. It's breakfast. Anyway, this thing's really cool. Like I said, it'll fit pretty much any kind of dart you can throw at it. Snugly works really well.
The only downside to it is if you leave the darts. Well, really, there's two downsides to it, I suppose. If you leave the darts in there for too long, they're gonna get a little divot in the place where you have them, and there's a chance that they might fall out. Another one is, that's
It's the Firefly dart.
Another thing is that it's not as secure as I would like it. It does hold them in pretty well, but I mean, if you brush up against here, there's a good chance that you're gonna
Dislodge
most.
If they would have had a little catch or something that came over the top, it would have secured everything, been a little bit more cool.
Or even something that just permanently stays in there. You just slide it through the hole.
Slam through the hole. See, I don't know. Catch 22.
But either way, it's probably the most useful accessory in all of it, the N-Strike lineup.
And it's not available separately. You can only get it with the barrel brake. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's
really cool.
almost too small to be available separately. They'd have to make it come with something else,
Throw some darts in with it.
Not only darts, but I think when you compare it with like the pinpoint sight, it just seems a little small.
It definitely uses less plastic and doesn't require batteries, but
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, if they put double the darts in there that you would need, but or 2-pack.
everything's better with darts.
So yeah, and then last but not least, we have the last Stampede accessory, and that is the bipod.
The bipod,
It's a little sticky.
A little sticky, but it's cool. Works really nice.
You didn't get maple syrup in it, did you?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
I like the bipod. My
Yeah.
only problem with the bipod, and really kind of the Stampede as a whole, was the 18-round straight clip, which was really cool. But you put that 18-round clip in there, you put the bipod on there, and you can't really set the gun down with the bipod on it. It's just the clip's too long.
Yeah, and it's kind of a smaller oversight, I suppose. With the previous design of the Stampede was supposed to have that double barrel clip. But
Hopefully we'll see it. We don't know.
But yeah, I mean, overall, this is another great accessory. It is a useful accessory. I wouldn't say it's the most useful accessory, but it is.
But honestly, I'd take this flexibility-wise. I'd take this over the static bipod that came on the long shot. It's just a better design.
It's definitely a lot better than bipod that came on Long
It's
Shot.
not only is it
I
a
mean,
bipod, it's a
you're-
handle.
Yeah, you're not always going to use the bipod on the Long Shot.
No, I've never used the bipod on the long shot except
No,
for display purposes.
And it's kind of chintzy too. But this is more of a real tactical accessory.
It's
you know,
more
'cause
stable.
And it's got two uses. You know, you can use it as a stand, and you can also use it as a foregrip.
Yep.
So it's just a really nice accessory to have.
It is probably second most useful next to the ammo holder. I think.
Absolutely.
I think.
And that's all the accessories that really have come out yet with the N-Strike, Vortex, and Super Soaker line.
Hopefully we'll see more from the Vortex. Vortex is really new. Hopefully they'll start putting out some tactical kits or something like that to beef that up a little bit.
Yep, and it'd be nice to see tactical kits all around for all the lineups. I mean, even Super Soaker.
I like Super Soaker.
It just makes all the accessories that you can get other than Nerf blasters are just nice to have, even if they aren't completely functional.
Function aside, like we've said it time and time again, these are toys. They're meant to have fun and be played with. They aren't incredibly accurate. They're foam. They're toys. I mean, I can't stress that enough. These are toys. Have fun with them. Make them look cool and play with them.
Yeah. So this is Mr. K
And Mr. S,
signing off for today.
join us again for another episode of the AFoN Show.